Donald Trump has signed an executive order declassifying files on the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, his brother Bobby Kennedy, and the civil rights leader Martin Luther King. Uncertainty still surrounds the shooting of President Kennedy in Dallas in 1963, with suggestions of Cuban involvement. Martin Luther King's family have alleged that his killing was a US government conspiracy after the man convicted of murder denied carrying it out. Well, Mr. Trump's been busy signing executive orders, including one designed to bring to an end what's called birthright citizenship. But now a judge in Seattle has blocked the move, calling it blatantly unconstitutional. This was the response from Donald Trump when he was told the news.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Well, the amendment in question, the one that has traditionally guaranteed birthright citizenship, is the 14th Amendment. Adopted after the American Civil War, the wording goes as follows. All persons born or naturalised in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Let's speak to CBS correspondent Naomi Ruchim. Naomi, why has President Trump decided to declassify the JFK files, first of all?
Well, there are many answers to this, Martine, and good morning to you. There's a lot of questions, as you mentioned, about what exactly happened during those assassinations. And it seems he's trying to perhaps answer those questions, or at least provide whatever answers are possible. Still, it is quite controversial. Now the FBI says it is identifying records related to the assassinations, but it comes after President Trump signed that executive order. He claims it's a move to restore transparency in Washington, and it's a tight deadline for the incoming Director of National Intelligence and the Attorney General, who, by the way, have not yet even been confirmed by the Senate. But according to President Trump's order, there must be a plan to release the RFK and MLK files within 45 days. And then they'll have just 15 days to propose a plan to release the JFK files. The goal, the president says, is to reverse the overclassification of government documents. White House officials have not yet said which or how many of them should be released. But the National Archives did make public a trove of more than 13,000 documents related to the JFK assassination back in 2022, shortly after then President Biden issued an executive order authorizing their disclosure. His administration, though, did keep thousands of other sensitive records under wraps. Martine?
Just briefly on this subject, how much is there likely to be new? A lot of it's already in the public domain.
Yeah, so much of it is public. This may just be a gesture to show the president's supporters that he is making good on a promise to offer this sort of transparency. But it's unclear what's really left in there. And as you mentioned, there are some conspiracy questions about what might have happened. But generally, the mainstream knowledge in this country is that those men were murdered in the ways that we know. Martine?
Moving on to the other issue of birthright citizenship. How problematic for Donald Trump is the description from that judge in Seattle that it's blatantly unconstitutional?
Well, Martine, this was generally expected from any judge, as revoking birthright citizenship is so contrary to the American standard of being a place of refuge. If you were born here, you're American. It's truly hard to imagine that changing under law, especially under the Constitution. The goal here, however, may be deterrence from the president to prevent something called birth tourism, where an immigrant might come here just to have their child born as an American. Now, a federal judge in Seattle has temporarily blocked President Trump's new executive order that seeks to eliminate that right. At the hearing yesterday, the judge called Trump's order blatantly unconstitutional and said he will grant the request for a temporary restraining order sought by 4 Democrat-led states that challenged it, including Washington, Arizona, Illinois, and Oregon. In fact, citing his 4 decades on the bench, the judge said he can't remember a case that presented a question as clear as this one. The judge's order will remain in place while legal proceedings continue. It's an early blow to the unilateral efforts taken by Mr. Trump to crack down on immigration, which he promised to do on the campaign trail and began to pursue almost immediately after he was sworn in for his second term on Monday. A Department of Justice spokesperson said that the department will vigorously defend President Trump's order, which they claim does correctly interpret the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. And Mr. Trump told reporters that they will appeal that decision. Martine?
Lots to cover. Naomi, as always, thank you very much.